Hospitals required to ask citizenship status and drivers punished if they transport people who are undocumented.
It's all part of a new immigration bill Governor Ron DeSantis signed into law today.
West 2 Night Gabrielius is live in Orange County tonight after speaking with immigration lawyers and advocates about the effects of the measure.
The governor calls it the strongest anti-illegal immigration law in the country and says it's his way of fighting back against President Joe Biden's border policies. There are several layers to this new law. One that is worrying people the most is the punishment that can come with driving undocumented immigrants here in the state of Florida.
These are sets of laws that were created in the name of xenophobia, not in the name of good policy and what's best for our state.
Hope Community Center in Apopka serves roughly 16,000 immigrant youth and families seeking education and citizenship. One of their leaders is worried a new Florida law could break their haven.
Important sectors of our economy, like agriculture, almost 50% of farm workers are undocumented.
In Florida, businesses with 25 workers or more will have to e-verify who they hire to avoid penalties. It's part of Senate Bill 1718, which Governor Ron DeSantis signed into law Wednesday. Among several things, the law will also require hospitals to collect data on a patient's citizenship status.
We know that immigrants are afraid of authority. Now that we're adding another layer, people are literally going to be too afraid to go to the doctor, to go to the hospital.
The law says drivers could be punished for transporting undocumented immigrants, but an immigration attorney says there are some gray areas.
Latest and final bill that was signed into law was actually talking about transporting people over state lines in Florida. So I'm not sure that this is something that's going to be applying to individuals just for driving their spouse to work.
He adds it specifically applies to people who have crossed the border or entered the United States illegally and not to someone who's overstayed their visa.
How's an officer even supposed to pull somebody over to assume they might be transporting somebody unlawfully? Is this going to affect more racial profiling or frivolous stops? We wonder how much of this is to be enforced or in theory, or how much of this is political posturing.
In a tweet, the governor said in part, human smuggling will not be tolerated in Florida. Knowingly transporting an illegal immigrant into Florida will result in 5 years in prison and a $5,000 fine per offense. Transporting 5 or more or a convicted smuggler will result in a $10,000 fine and up to a 15-year prison sentence. Advocates say lawsuits could be filed soon. Hope Community Center, along with Florida Immigrant Coalition and some business leaders, are planning to hold a press conference in response to this new law tomorrow. Reporting live in Orange County, Sanaya Gabrielius, WESH 2 News.